What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Let's get into it. Let's talk NBA action. We got some picks coming to you guys live for this huge slate, February 28th. Let's wrap up the month on a bang. We're going to go on the East Coast, talk Cavs, Celtics, and out West where the Lakers are taking on the Clippers. Those are the two marquee primetime games, if you will, but there's a lot of other intriguing games as well. I'll give you guys my best bets and some of the analysis that I will have in between the lines, okay? But before we get into it, if you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys join us here on the channel. I know a lot of you guys watch these videos. You're just huddled over the kiosks at the sports books, and you're just kind of fast forwarding to that and looking for the picks and trying to see what I'm on. And I appreciate that. These are free picks. All I ask in return is that you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and keep the hustle. It's all about cashing tickets, and that's what we're all here for, okay? So let's get into it. Happy Friday, thank God, and let's get into the weekend and start this one off with a bang. All right, to do this, we are going to use Outlier to break down these picks. If you have not signed up for Outlier, 7-day free trial using my link down below in the description. Check them out, especially with the NBA action. I think that's probably the best resource for NBA betting. Okay, the first game that we're going to get into, Denver and Pistons, right? This is where I'm going to be kind of looking at this one as an interesting little bit of lay here. And the reason why I say that is Denver's not at home, and we've seen some sharp movement towards the Pistons in the spot. For anything, guys, if we want to talk numbers, I think because of the pace the Pistons do play, this is one where I would lean over. It's kind of a coin flip. I hate betting against Denver on a back-to-back, going against a Pistons club that's young and gunning. It's going to be something where I'd almost want to lay it with the Pistons, but on the other hand, you do get a very good opportunity to take some Nuggets plus money on the money line and or plus in terms of the spread, which you really don't grab the points too often with the Nuggets, and kind of an interesting spot where you want to, but I think the sharper side would be the Pistons and the over if you're going to force me to bet this game, okay? Next, we are going to get into probably the best game on the card, 7:30 tip-off, Cavs and Celtics, the one I'll be watching, okay? This is where we're going to have to probably have the kids in bed a little bit earlier than normal, just so we can get to that tip-off right there at 7:30. But we will have a spot where Boston's laying 2.5 at home. Looking back at kind of how this first matchup went, it kind of went exactly how you would have thought it would have. And it's going to be something where this is going to be a game where I think Cleveland's going to be gunning for the Celtics. The Celtics come into spot possibly a little bit banged up. Cleveland fought back, though, and only lost in that last matchup, 112-105. But now Cleveland goes on the road, business trip mentality. I do think this is kind of where they're going to flex a little bit, all right? And now that we have Drew Holiday, Luke Cornett, and the likes of Jaylen Brown, all with Q statuses, I just think that there is something to be said about the Cavs' 38-19 ATS record. And when we talk about that on the road, 18-9 on the road, and the Celtics, they're going to get up for this game, but do not sleep on the fact that the Celtics are 11-17 at home ATS. So a lot of that has to do with the fact that numbers are inflated. If they're playing a shit team and you're going to give the Celtics, they're going to be laying 15, 16 points every night, they're going to have a bad ATS record in the NBA. All right, there's enough variance where that's going to allow for that. Okay, but in this game, this is kind of where I'm looking at it. It's very hard for me not to take the Cavs on the money line here at a plus money value. I know they're going on the road, but we already seen this number buy down from 3.5 to 2.5. I think the Cavs are playing better basketball right now. So if the only reason you're betting the Celtics is because they're at home, I think that's fool's gold. So give me the Cavaliers plus 2.5. I do think that if we do get what's-his-face, Jaylen Brown, to be excused from this game, if we get some late inactives, you never know how close they're going to play their cards. But I do think this is something where we could see the likes of Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum have a legendary performance in this evening's contest. The likes of Kristaps Porzingis is back, so it's going to be fun to watch him and Horford going against the big men for going against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Had the privilege of meeting Evan Mobley a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago, and that's one of the players in the NBA I definitely root for. Him and Darius Garland in terms of young stars. Not what I expected, but I will tell you guys that definitely rooting for them in their careers, and Evan Mobley is one that definitely has a bright future ahead of him, and let's just hope for a Cavaliers victory tonight as we look at this game. I'm not going to take the 2.5. I just straightforward like the money line in this spot. Okay, and then that will lead us into our next game that we are going to talk about, and that's going to be the likes of the Oklahoma City and Atlanta Hawks. So we all know the Hawks and kind of what they're doing in terms of defense and just how that all works out with Trae Young. And it's what kind of game do you get always with Trae Young? Are you going to get that, the game he drops 8 threes and plays not a lick of defense, or is he going to just basically shoot 25% from the field and the Thunder are going to blow him out? Well, both of these teams have not been covering spreads lately. However, I do think that we get a lot of defense here in the form of the Thunder. So if anything, guys, I would be fading Trae Young. And I do want to touch upon that last game. I did talk about Mobley, but I forgot to mention I'm more on the Mobley props than anything in that game. Okay, Mobley, Jason Tatum is kind of where I'm at. I'm staying. I would probably stay away from Garland and Donovan Mitchell. So never a good idea to stay away from Donovan Mitchell's prop line, but I think it's going to be a Mobley game. That's what I'm kind of alluding to. Okay. Next, it is kind of the tried and true method, basically fading the kind of guards that go against the Thunder. I think this is something where if you look into this, guys, I have no problem laying it with OKC, but the best bet I will give you guys is the over in this spot. That's where I'm going to be at 243.5. Got stung by taking an under with the Thunder under. They play a lot of defense, but in this one, guys, I don't see any reason or form or fashion that the Thunder do not get into 130 or above. So for me, guys, it's going to be Thunder and the over. But the official play will be on the over, and we will kind of stay into the prop market for this one as we look at outlier. I'm going to go with the Aaron Wiggins points over 13.5. This is a player that we did catch right out of that game against Utah where he took the over against Minnesota, cashing it with 15. I think the value is still low on him because he has had some outliers. And in the game against the Hawks, this is one that I expect to come through. Probably my favorite prop of the evening. Aaron Wiggins basically going against the Atlanta defense, 27th in the NBA. Okay, and then if we couple that with the fact that we look at shooting guards in specific, 24th, 29 points in total allowed to shooting guards per game. So I do think this is a very, very bright bet for this evening's contest. So give me Aaron Wiggins over 13.5 points. Okay. Next, I'm not going to really get into some crazy games. I am going to have a play within the Pacers Heat game. I know that the Heat play a little bit better defense. Total set a little bit lower at 225.5. I think that the Pacers do get the job done here. Not going to take it, but I will go in the form of Tyrese Halliburton. I did some research, and I've been looking at I like to bet 3-pointers a lot in the NBA. It's one of my favorite kind of 3-point parlay. If I am going to do some of that, on FanDuel, and right now plus 140 for Tyrese Halliburton to get 4 threes in a number that he has cashed in essentially 6 of his last 7 games. It's almost something that you have to bet. This is kind of where you would bet almost a half unit to basically win, 0.7 or whatever, and take that with ease. I think this is something where it's not like my favorite bet on the card. I just think at plus 140 on FanDuel, if you guys build 3-point parlays or you do anything along those lines within the NBA, this is something where you pretty much can almost guarantee he's going to have 3 3-pointers, but I do think that when we hit this number at plus 140 and he gets 4, that's where you really have to understand this is a value play on Tyrese Halliburton. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at. We do have one more final official play. Okay, and that's going to be something as we look in deeper to the board. Knicks and Grizzlies. This number has moved, but I do like the Memphis Grizzlies. If you can find it at -3, that would be a very sharp play for me as well. And also kind of out there within the Minnesota Timberwolves. They really struggled last night against the Lakers, back-to-back, laying 2.5 on the road. The Jazz are atrocious, but this might be a little bit of a sharper move towards Utah, plus 2.5 if you fancy that, or if you want to take some cheap money on Minnesota, grab them -140. Okay. Also, the same thing goes for the Lakers on the back-to-back. After that game with Minnesota, they do host the Clippers. Plus 4.5 is the number that you can get for the Lakers at home. Whether or not they, had their foot off the gas pedal, they were kind of waiting for this marquee matchup. Clippers come into the building 32-26. The Lakers are 36-21. So kind of respectable turnaround now with Luka into the fold. I'm very interested to see how this game plays out. And if we look at kind of where we're at within injuries, I think if it wasn't marquee, you might see LeBron even kind of take this one off. Rui Hachimura is going to be out, as well as Kleber. And that's kind of where you're looking to Norman Powell within the Clippers game time decision. That might set them back a little bit. But with Kawhi back in the fold, this is going to be a very interesting spot. And I really don't have a play one way or another on this one. And that's more so because of the fact that I really, really don't have a feel on the Lakers yet, since what does that Luka trade look like, okay? I know what the numbers are saying, and I know kind of how that's all playing out, but at face value, that's all fine and dandy. I just don't know what we're going to see with Luka, LeBron, and how that all meshes come, if we're fortunate enough for them to get into the postseason and beyond, okay? So that's kind of how I feel about it. If I did want to play the Lakers-Clippers game, this would definitely be a move where I would look into the Clippers side -4. You could find a juiced up 4. But for me, betting against LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers primetime Friday night at home, it's not something I want to get into business doing, be in the business of. But if we do get some inactiveness within, Rui and maybe some other late scratches, that's also why I'm not betting it, because it's a 10 o'clock tip-off. So let's see how the dust settles after, that back-to-back plays out. We've seen this happen where guys will just kind of call off, essentially, later on in the day. So that's kind of where I stand. My official plays, though, we will be on the Aaron Wiggins points over, OKC over, Tyrese Halliburton taking that plus 140 money, over 3.5 3-pointers, and Cleveland on the money line plus 116 will be my official plays for this evening's contest. So appreciate you guys. Good luck out there with your picks. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you guys leave. Also, give me a follow on X at the Better Mark in the bottom left of your screen, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Good luck out there.